his first in a week, by the way, after going home and being there for the birth of his daughter Charlotte in Fort Worth, Texas. Dylan G 4 1/3, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts. Chris Medlin had a tough night. He gave up 7 runs, 9 hits in 3 2/3. And the Orioles bunched all their runs together in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings, scoring 7. And the biggest play tonight was the double play that was not turned in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Adam Jones, Chris Davis, and Mark Trumbo in the top of the 9th inning.
G did a lot by saving the back end of that bullpen. Duffy, Pochaver, just outstanding work. Wang's a premier sinker ball pitcher. He'll range 90, 88 maybe into 93. Mixes in a little breaking ball, a little slider.
Two and one on Jones. Wang last pitched 3 nights ago against the Tigers and gave up 1 run, 3 hits in 1 inning. There's that sinker. 2 and 2. The Orioles have not been in this position much over the last few years. If you include the 2014 American League Championship Series, the Royals have won 11 of the last 14 with Baltimore. Good sinker again, in on his hand. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Royals have won 3 consecutive season series from Baltimore. It's the first time in the Royals franchise history that they've won 3 straight season series against the O's. Here's another little trivia question for you, Hud.
Okay.
Since the beginning of 2013, what 2 teams have won the most games in the American League?
Oh, the Royals and the Orioles.
Wow, how did you know that?
Did my homework. Shocker.
Leadoff walk to Jones. That's the 3rd time that Jones has reached with a walk tonight. Did it have anything to do with these are the 2 teams that are playing tonight when I asked that question?
Yeah, I know.
Well, there you have it. The Royals have 9 more wins than Baltimore. Their big season was that 2014 year when they won 96, but the Royals swept them.
You're beginning to be like Al in the truck, predictable. Had to do with the teams that were here. And speaking of that, those trivia questions, man, they're really difficult this year.
How about 3 of the 5 are from the Central?
Impressive. It's not going to be easy. White Sox won in a walk-off again today. And they got a ton of lefties in their rotation. Lefties sometimes give us trouble. It'll be a fun year. It's not going to be easy.
They've got Sale, Quintana,
Rondon.
Yep.
And is Dank still there?
Danks is still there. 1 and 2 on Chris Davis, and then they went out to boost their offense. They got Todd Frazier. They got Brett Lawrie. Jimmy Rollins was a minor league invite. He won the starting shortstop position. They got Austin Jackson. It's a whole new team. 2 and 2. And maybe we're just biased, or I won't say we, maybe I'm just biased because I've seen how the Royals have turned things around. And before the Royals, it was Minnesota leading the division for a long stretch of time. Into right field. That's a base hit for Davis. He has a 4-hit game. Jones will stop at second base, and the Orioles have 2 on with nobody out. Well, actually, it was Detroit in between the Royals and Minnesota, but Minnesota's similar organization to the Royals, and the link between the two was the way they put their teams together. Homegrown players, brought them up together. They lost together at the big league level. They won together at the big league level. So maybe I'm biased when I look at a team like the White Sox and I think, too many new pieces, too many players from different organizations. Where's the chemistry? Where's the feel for one another? Knowing their role, their limitations, knowing their teammates' roles and their limitations. And we'll see.
Yeah, there seems to be drama that follows that team year to year. This year it was Adam LaRoche. Didn't seem to faze him. Last Diaz getting a little exercise, running out there to the mound to hand deliver the ball to Wang. That's because Salvi took a foul tip right off of his. No, it wasn't a foul tip. It's, how about this? There it is, right there, right off of his left big toe.
Two and one on Trumbo. Trumbo is the Orioles' designated hitter. Last night he played right field, and I remember 4 years ago the Royals opened in Anaheim and the Angels tried to use him as their third baseman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Remember that?
We were there for that, and that was really a tough night for Trumbo.
He made what, 3 errors I think in the first 2 games of that series, and that was an experiment that didn't last very long.
Dropped a routine pop-up after that was his second error, remember. He had the jitters.
Off the plate and foul. Still 2-2. We were talking a few innings ago about Chris Davis and the pressure that he may have felt. I'm sure he did, being a Texas native and a Rangers fan and being compared to Mark Teixeira and then being drafted by the Rangers. Well, how about Mark Trumbo? He was born in Anaheim, right? Then he grew up
to Villa Park High School, right 15 minutes away from the ballpark.
Drafted by the Angels, playing for the Angels.
He was a pitcher in high school, and he threw 90 plus.
Skips away from Salvi, and now Salvi can take his pick. He'll go for the lead runner. And Jones just going to make sure he doesn't get hurt in a 4-run game in the 9th inning. So that's the second time tonight that Salvi's gunned down an Orioles runner trying to advance to third.
Did the right thing. You want to run him back to the base he came from, if you can.
Going to call that out advancing, not caught stealing, out advancing. 2-5. Davis moves up to second, 1 down, and it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes on Trumbo.
When Wang is right, he's getting guys to foul that ball off the plate, off their toes, and everything. I mean, his ball really does have that great sink action to it, and Hitters are going to hit the top half of the ball most of the time when he's on his game.
Remember someone tell me that good sinkers get ground balls, great sinkers get foul balls off of feet. That sinker stayed up, and that is lined to center field and over Lorenzo Cain. Davis will be waved home, and Mark Trumbo has driven in 4.
Oh, man.
It is 8-3 Baltimore.
We saw him almost tear down the left field wall last night on a line drive, and this one right here never got 20 feet above the ground. There's a sinker that didn't sink, and this big man barrels it like that. I mean, you can't square it up any better. And it just was.
It's like a 3-iron.
P-rod. It was 3-iron. It's a baseball term.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
The Orioles have 8 runs on 14 hits, and Matt Wieters has nothing to do with it. He is 0 for 4. Every other Oriole has at least a hit, and they've really spread out their offense tonight. 7 of the 9 have either an RBI or a run scored. Trumbo's had the biggest night driving in runs. He has 4. Chris Davis has scored 3 times. Still 0-2 on Wieters. Doesn't happen very often to position players, but Matt Wieters a couple of seasons ago had Tommy John surgery. That not only affected his 2014 season, but his 2015 season. He only played 101 games in those 2 years combined. Strike 3 called. So he is 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, as his team has scored 8 runs on 14 hits, 2 down in the 9th inning.
It's good movement on that one. That was straight over the middle. Well, it was elevated, but it locked him up.
And now J.J. Hardy. The Orioles started the season 7-0. They were the last team in the major leagues without a loss, and they were scoring almost 6 runs per game. They had 4 games with 5 or more runs, and then coming into tonight they had only won 3 of 8, and their offense was down. And if the first 10th of the season is any indication of how the Orioles will fly, no pun intended, it'll be dictated by their offense, because their pitching has not gotten off to a good start. They have fewer ways to beat an opponent compared to the Royals. It would seem, at least.
I would agree. Well, we witnessed tonight, though, what they can do when they hit that ball. I mean, sure, they had a few balls that were hit soft, but they know what to do with mistakes.
Up the middle, Escobar picks it off and throws out his mentor, once upon a time back in the Brewers organization, J.J. Hardy. Sellout crowd here tonight. Tough night for the Royals so far. They are down by 5.